My name is Chris Gersche, and I am the Director of Alpha Health Products. We provide functional fats. Alpha Clarity is a ketone-optimized substrate. Those are big words. What do I mean by that? Well, we've got a blend of MCT oil, coconut oil, omega-3 oils from chia, flax, camelina, and we've got some palm olein for the tocotrienols. That blend makes an oil that very quickly metabolizes into ketones in the body. And ketones are a source of nourishment for all of our cells. They're able to cross the blood-brain barrier, so they nourish our brain cells as well. And they're particularly useful for cells that can no longer properly use glucose as a fuel. Alpha formulated Alpha Clarity oil based on the work of Dr. Mary Newport. I've had a couple of discussions with Mary, and we worked on this formula to make sure that we have all of the elements that we need to provide cells that are no longer able to use glucose as fuel with the nutrition that the body can easily convert into ketones, which are able to nourish those cells. Alpha Clarity oil, because it's an optimized ketone substrate, you're using it to make ketones in the body. The amount of ketones your body needs depends on one part on how many cells you have that cannot use glucose as fuel. It depends on how big your body is, and it depends on how active you are, because again, every cell in your body can use ketones. And just because you took Alpha Clarity and you've got a cell in your brain, for instance, that might need it, and you've got but you're active, and so your bicep goes, oh look, there's some energy, and your brain cell goes, no, they took it for me, and the bicep just says, no, I want it, because biceps are cold that way. If you're active, you'll need a little more. So typically we recommend that people start with a tablespoon or two a day and then work up to see where they get the best effect. Ketones are an energy molecule that are created when we ingest medium chain fats. And ketones are able to circulate throughout the blood. They're water soluble, so they circulate throughout the blood, and they can cross the blood-brain barrier. So ketones can provide energy to all of the cells in our body, including our brain. And in particular, they provide energy to cells that can no longer use glucose as a fuel. Alpha Clarity oil is great for creating ketones, and one of the ways that's really useful is if you've got a concussion. When you have a concussion, you get an immediate glucose spike followed by prolonged glucose depression. You can't fix that by adding more pasta, because the glucose is actually being diverted away from the energy cycle of the cell into the pentose pathway. So you need to provide some other form of energy for the brain at that point in time. Otherwise, it's going to create a lot more free radicals because of the energy deficit. So if you provide it with ketones, that works. And so Alpha Clarity is an excellent source for metabolizing ketones in the body.